Well, hello, my friends. Welcome back to another week here with my good friend Beth English. We are going to be talking about today how to bounce back, from a big rejection, from a big disappointment, how to bounce back quickly. So I'm going to help you with that. There are 40 steps to help you on that. But before we talk about that, hi, Beth. Good to see you. How are you?
Hello, hello. I am just here. Whew, what a week. What a
Yeah.
month.
it's been busy, right? I've been busy beginning of summer, and
Hmm.
it's been good. It's hot over here in the Chicagoland area. I don't know how it is for you there in Nashville.
It's very
So
hot, yes.
it is hot too. So yeah, it's hot everywhere. But well, we're super happy to connect here with everyone once again, as we do every Wednesday. This is our Wednesday appointment, and well, today is no exception. And we're gonna talk about a topic that for artists is very common, right? The idea of rejection, and there are all types of rejections, from really small ones to really big ones. You apply for a show, maybe you didn't get in. That's a bummer. But sometimes there's some big ones, like you were really waiting to be accepted in this college or university, or this big program, or you were really depending on this next funding opportunity, whatever, and then you got that email, that letter that says thanks, but unfortunately, and then you know what's coming after that, right? So I think it's something that we all artists deal with. I have dealt with that many times as well. I'm sure you bet too, and I think everybody, right? I think when we put ourselves out there, we rejection is always an option. So we're gonna talk about like 4 things we can do today to help us out with that. So, Beth, have you dealt with rejections before?
Of course, I'm a human,
Yeah, right, exactly.
but particularly in my work, of course, I think, that's just part of the job. So it's tough in the beginning when you're not used to it, but then after a while, you learn,
Hmm.
not to put all your eggs in one basket. And sure, some rejections feel more sad than others. So
Right.
I can't wait to hear what you have to say.
Excellent. So I want to give you, my friend, like 4 little things. Kind of like do this exercise myself too. Anytime I receive a rejection letter for something, I actually received one a couple months ago from some opportunity that I had applied for. Got the email. Thanks. We had a lot of submissions, but you were not one of the ones that was accepted. Like, oh, okay, well, So these are the kind of the 4 things I like to go through. And for the big ones, of course, takes longer time, bigger rejections. For the smaller ones, I still go through this process, which kind of helps me always learn a little bit from that. So first one is acknowledge it. You gotta acknowledge it. As Beth said, sometimes you feel sad about it. If it's a bigger thing, it's okay to feel sad about a rejection. We're not saying yes, go up make a party because you got rejected. No, it's okay to feel like this letter is not really what you were looking for. It's okay to feel it, to understand. I'm acknowledging that this is an opportunity that is not for me, right? It's just not going to work out, and taking our time to acknowledge. I always say, it's okay to be sad for a little bit, but don't be sad forever, right? So it depends on the size of that rejection, how long is enough for you to acknowledge that and to because we're human beings, and it's okay to add those feelings to the things that we're going through.
Yeah, that reminds me of one time I bombed really hard after a comedy show. And I asked a fellow comic, how long am I allowed to be upset about this? He said, for as long as you were on stage. And I thought, okay, so I have
That's a good
about
one.
8 minutes to be upset and then I got to get over it.
That's
So,
a that is a good one, right? Yeah, because you gotta get ready for your next one, right? We gotta
hmm.
bounce back, and that's what this episode is all about. Bouncing back from those rejections. Because unfortunately, working with artists, and I'm sure that you also working with artists too. We have, met or been with artists who, at some point, maybe they've been really close to give it all away. To give it all up, to almost. Quit because a rejection that was not expected. So this is kind of to help us out to deal with those things. So we don't want that to happen to you. Rejections, they will always, be part of our life. The second one that I have for you is remember your value. Remember your value. I think that's a bigger, that's a really big thing to think about, right? When I get a rejection letter, okay, I'm not value against all the pile of rejections that I've gotten over, right? There's much more of value on who I am as a person, as an artist, on what I do, right? I cannot let, the one person or a committee or a small group of people's, a perception of me or my art or whatever it is that they're looking at, to add value to who I am, right? So remember our value, remember, what you stand for, what you're all about, your why you do the things you do. Super important in order to start the process of bouncing back.
Yeah, it's so important to realize that your value is not what you do, it's who you are. And so, no matter what you find yourself in your work, not to attach that to how valuable you think that you are. And the more that you're able to discern between the two, the easier it's going to be to bounce back between those rejections, definitely.
Absolutely. So first one, acknowledge it. Two, remember your value. And number three, one that I also like to ask myself before I move on, which is, what did I learn from this one? What can I learn from this particular experience? Sometimes the rejection happens because I may have missed something in the application. Maybe they said, submit 3 images and I only submitted 2. So, I have to blame also myself, or not to blame, but I have to learn from that experience. Say, well, I made a mistake in the application, or I didn't follow instructions. I run a lot of shows, and there are so many times when artists don't follow instructions. For submissions. If you are applying to a grant, for example, there are very specific questions that you gotta answer, and sometimes artists go around and don't answer the actual question that was asked. So that is, a reason for fail. So ask yourself the question, what can I learn from this? Did I try my best? Did I do my best? And maybe the answer is that you did everything to the T and what you were supposed to, and it just didn't work out. And that is okay. But you always learn, how can I improve? What can I do better? Maybe I need to look for opportunities somewhere else, right? Or alternatives. So always ask yourself, what can I learn from this particular experience?
Oh my gosh. I've been a judge for so many competitions that I can clearly see why some people get to go move forward and some do not. And it really makes things clear about how you have to present yourself. And I think just knowing more about that process is simply by doing it, And so if you are not getting accepted, it has nothing to do with you and your value and your work. It just maybe be the presentation that it was delivered in. And that is that's a skill that can be learned. And so the more you do it, the more you're going to, knock it out of the park eventually.
Right, especially in the world today in which we submit a lot of things electronically. If your photograph is not the best, well, you're competing against probably hundreds of other artists who may have like really great pictures. So it all starts right with all those details. So ask yourself, what do I learn from it? And then the last one, which is to me the most important after I've kind of gone through this process of acknowledging, of remembering my value, learning about this experience, is okay, what do I need to focus on next, and put my mind on what matters most right now. I cannot change the past. I cannot go back and resubmit. I cannot call them and say, hey, can you reconsider? What's over is over, what's done is done. I already took my time to process this. Now, what do I need to put my focus on next so that I don't deplete the energy that I have for this new thing, or what I'm working on right now, because I'm still, living the past.
Yeah, you have to keep looking forward and keep figuring out, well, where is your place in this world? Where should you submit your work? And don't get discouraged. And if you do, and you want to throw a pity party, just do it for like, a minute or 5 minutes, or give yourself a timeline. That way you don't get stuck. That's the thing. You don't want to get stuck and let it rob you from other opportunities. So great tips, Sergio.
Totally. So that's it, my friends. This episode maybe is for you right now. Maybe it's not. Maybe it is for a friend who just went through this. So do us a big favor. Please share this episode with your friends. You never know who may be going through it, who today, got that email or got that letter, or will get it maybe after this episode. You just never know. But these are things that we can help each other out with and remember as well. So if you want to connect with our good friend Beth English, where can we find you, Beth?
On Facebook and Instagram at Beth English and bethenglish.com. What about you?
You can find me everywhere at Sergio Gomez Art, and actually under this video you will see our name tags there, so you can find us anytime, anywhere. So thank you for watching. We'll be looking for your comments. Have a great rest of your day. Bye, Beth. See you next week.
Bye.